My dear friends, today I would like to talk to you about two interesting people whom I have met in my life, and both of them had leukemia, or what you might call cancer of the blood. They were two people in different towns, in different cities, way apart, but something that might be useful for each one of us when we reflect on the time and money that we spend on sicknesses in our own life. So when the first case that I had, when she came, it was a woman again who came to me, and she came actually to make a retreat. And as she began her retreat, she asked me, "What are you going to do during this retreat?" I said, "Well, you have come for a retreat. You would know what you want. But we will begin by getting in touch with your inner self and with your prayer." She said, "I hope you're not going to try to heal me." So I said, "No, not exactly. But why should I be healing you? What's your problem?" And so she said, "I am a patient of leukemia and I am under treatment." I said, "Fair enough. That's your difficulty. I will not touch that area of your life." And so I did not touch that area of her life. But interestingly, during the course of the retreat, it turned out that she had suffered a lot as a child because she was in a boarding school where she had received a lot of physical abuse. She had received a lot of beating, a lot of rejection, a lot of loneliness, and a lot of suffering. And this kept recurring as she grew up in various aspects of her life. So as I dealt with each of these episodes in her life and helped her to reconcile herself, to forgive herself and forgive the people who had hurt her, who had troubled her, who had made her suffer, a visible change began to take place in her. And you won't believe it, but 1 month later, when she went for her checkup, of all places in Delhi at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, they told her, "There is no sign of cancer in you." 1 year later, she went for another checkup, and she calls me from there and she says, "Brother, I'm glad to inform you that my second checkup 1 year later is still negative and there is nothing the matter to me." Today it is 15 years, and now she still has no traces of cancer. The second case that I had was closer to home. It was one of my relatives. And I had seen her. She was a big, good, hefty woman. And so when I attended one of the functions in my house, I saw that she had slimmed down tremendously. I said, "Woman, you're looking beautiful, but how is that you have lost so much weight?" So she says, "I don't know, brother, but I have lost more than 10 kilos within the last 6 months." I said, "Anything happening in your body?" So she says, "Yeah, I got a couple of swellings here around the shoulders and things like that." I said, "Will you please go and see a doctor?" So she did go to see a doctor. And the doctor took some tests, took her for a PET scan, and told her that she has got leukemia. She was obviously devastated, and sometimes doctors can be imprudent. And the doctor just told her, "Tomorrow you come with 50,000 and we will start treatment." She went home, never told anybody. And it went on for nearly a month. And then one day I happened to phone her and I asked her, "What was the result of the test that you had?" So she says, "I have got leukemia. And the doctor says I need to bring 50,000. And so since I don't have 50,000, I didn't go back to see him." I said, "Are you serious?" So she says, "Yes, Malcolm, from where do I get 50,000 rupees?" So I said, "Listen, you come to Bombay, I'll meet you in Bombay, I'll take you to another doctor to get a second opinion done." We got a second opinion done, the results were the same, and the treatment was explained there to everything, and we said we will make efforts to collect this money. And so we contacted our various brothers and relatives and whoever it is, and we began to collect the money to get her. But now I said, "Before you begin your treatment, I want you to do something." "And what?" she says. I said, "I would like you to sit for 2 days with me." And 2 days I went step by step through her whole life. And in that, I discovered the pain that she had gone through all her life. First, at her own home, in her own family, she had to spend a large part of her adult life in the family. That means from the age of, say, 16 to about 30. She was taking care of an ailing father who was practically paralyzed and in bed looking after him. And so she had never got really married. She got married later on at the age of 35 after her father died. And lo and behold, she got married to a man who more or less replicated her father. He too was an ailing man. His previous wife had died, and therefore he never consummated his marriage with this wife. She had to take care of him, and she suffered all the time, and the result of it was cancer of the blood. Metaphysically, we say blood is happiness. And when your happiness is gone from your life, your blood turns to water, to use local language. And so she had. So I worked with her again, healing various memories of her, explaining to her how she's dealing with her husband and how her husband is dealing with her and how to be able to do it. She did go back, took her 5 chemos that she had to take, and after the chemos were over, it is now 4 years she has had no cancer at all. Was it my counseling or was it the chemo? I really do not know. But I definitely know that she today is a much happier person, healthier person, and full of life. The moral of these stories, once again, we think that sickness comes from God knows what. Sometimes from God, sometimes from germs, sometimes from worms, sometimes from viruses, all true, and yet not true. It is how you are emotionally dealing with your history, with your background, with all that you have gone. Once again, you need to deal with the baggage you are carrying. Deal with your past, deal with your pains, deal. Here in India, in our culture, most of us do not like to think that we might be emotionally damaged. We do not like to think that we need emotional help. Yes, moment we get a cold, we will run to a doctor. Moment we get a fever, we will run to a doctor. But it never occurs to us that we must also do something about our emotional life. So please take care of your emotional baggage, whatever it might be. If you need to see a counselor, do that. But many times you don't need that. All you need to do is face it. See it and say, yes, I'm suffering because of this experience. I'm suffering because of that experience. I'm suffering because of that. Forgive yourself. Accept all that has happened in your life, and you will be a happier person. Thank you, and God bless you.